Hi, you're watching Saturday in the Woodworking Shop with Andrew Pitts, where we talk things woodworking. Today's episode is going to be a little change in gears. About 27 years ago, I had command of a Navy hydrofoil. We called them PHMs, Patrol Hydrofoil Missile, because we carried missiles on here. And we were down in Key West. I couldn't have my workshop with me. I really wanted to make something, so I borrowed plans for the hydrofoil from Boeing, who made the hydrofoils, and using my X-Acto knife and the kitchen table, I went ahead and built what I think is an exact model of the hydrofoil. It's exact as I could make it. Here's the foils that the ship would fly on. It actually flew in through the water. The hull was completely out of the water when we were flying. It was powered by an LM25 gas turbine engine, which had a water jet pump. The water would enter the bottom of the foils through a little scoop on each side, come up through the strut, into the ship, into the propulsor, which was driven by the engine, and out a big hole in the back of the ship, and the water just come flying out there and propel the ship. When we were on the hull, we used a diesel, two diesels actually, that also had water jet propulsors, and that's what these black things are. And we could go forward and reverse on the diesel, but when you were on the LM2500, it was only forward. So like I say, I built this. It was my woodworking challenge for the 2 years down in Key West, and I wanted to show it to you. Here's some close-ups of the ship model. You can see the foils, you can see the gun, you can see the gun radar. That's that big egg on a bow, or a beam shot here. That hole under the 3 is our bow thruster. Really important. And here's a stern shot. You can see the actuator that lifts the after foil up when we're on the hull, and both propulsors. As I thought about it, I thought you might be interested in actually seeing the hydrofoil fly. So I've got some video clips here that I'm going to show of the hydrofoil in action. And while I was at it, I thought, well, why don't I show you some clips of the other 2 ships that I had command of. One was the destroyer Brisco, and the other clips are from USS Detroit, which was a big auxiliary. We carried fuel and ammunition, and you can see how the ships replenish underway. I think it's kind of interesting. So I hope you'll enjoy these clips. Here you can see Taurus flying in the fairly clear blue waters of the Caribbean. As we come about to the port here, you can see the forward foil under the water. That's about a couple of meters below the surface, and you can see the hull is completely out of the water. We carry a 76mm gun up forward and 8 Harpoon missiles aft, and we can fire those things while we're flying. Here we're doing some little demonstrations for some ships up in the Norfolk area, just showing them how the hydrofoil works. I think we're demonstrating for some midshipmen for their summer cruise. And here we're coming along, and maybe you can hear the engine slightly behind there. And now we're coming in for a landing onto the hull, and that's it. We're going to pick up the mids now. Okay, now this is my second command at sea. It's the USS Brisco. We're in Newport picking up some Tigers. That's dependents after the deployment to the Red Sea, and we're going to demonstrate the ship for them as we sail on down to our home port of Norfolk. Here's a scene on the bridge. See what that looks like. My chair's over there on the right. I couldn't see it. There's the LM2500 gas turbine engine, and one of the 2 shafts driving the propellers, and the steering gear, big hydraulic rams to drive the rudders. An inside view of the passageways, nice and clean and bright. And here's our helicopter, going to give us a little demonstration, taking off, doing a high-speed pass, coming on down to show off a little bit, and then here's the next day, and we got green water. This is USS Detroit, the last ship that I commanded, and we're pier side. You can get an idea how big this ship is. 800 feet, 50,000 tons, carried 9 million gallons of fuel and 4,000 tons of ammo plus refrigerated stores. We're going to unrep today from Laramie, and it's really nasty out there. We got about 25-30 knots of wind from the north. It's pretty rough seas from the north. We'll be unrepping to our starboard side. Figure I'm going to have about 20 knots of wind from the stern. It's going to be a rough one. And here's USNS Laramie alongside starboard side. We're doing what's called connected replenishment or conrep. You can see the big 1-inch wire rope connecting the two ships. Ships are about 150 feet apart. Laramie is required to maintain station on us, and we just drive a straight line. There's me in the green jacket trying to make sure that everything looks good. So we got 3 hose rigs. They're double hose rigs. You can see them down there. I think they're 8-inch hoses, if I remember correctly. That we can pump fuel between the ships. I think in this case Laramie may be giving us some fuel, and so that we can go and refuel other ships. So very, very exciting time at sea when you're connected to another ship and you both have to cooperate and go exactly the same course and speed. Well, here's something you don't get to see every day. Dwight D. Eisenhower, which is an aircraft carrier, is alongside, and we are taking their ammo and fuel so that they can go into the shipyard for an extended availability to refuel. There you see a helicopter carrying 2,000-pound bombs from Ike's flight deck over to our flight deck, and we're also connected to Ike through the conrep that I just described. We have those 1-inch wire ropes going between the ships. Ike's probably out closer to 200 feet from us. The carriers tended to stay a little farther out. Here you can see a pallet of ammo coming on our aft conrep station. It's going to come on in, and then it's going to be lowered down to the deck where the forklifts can then pick up the pallet and take it down to our magazines. Again, I think I mentioned that Detroit could carry 4,000 tons of ammunition. And so our job was to either give or take to the carrier battle groups. There's some more shots of those cables. Here's a pallet coming in on the forward station. Okay, now here's a vertical replenishment, that is, on Enterprise CVN 65. You can see a few helicopters turned up. Down there you can see the station for the conrep of the the high lining of the pallets of ammo, and there's a fuel station that's connected, and so we are in this case giving fuel and ammunition to Enterprise, and again they're maintaining station on us roughly 190, 200 feet from us, and this will go on all day long through all the daylight hours, and we could easily be alongside for 2 or 3 days. As a matter of fact, what we're going to see here in a little bit is that the Dwight D. Eisenhower is part of this. They're on the other side of Enterprise. So we're connected to Enterprise, and Dwight D. Eisenhower is doing vert rep. So Ike doing vert rep to Enterprise and Detroit, and Enterprise and Detroit doing vert rep and con rep. Pretty darn exciting. Here you can see a little better shot. We got a helo landing back on our flight deck. You can see the blades, and you can see the activity with the forklifts moving all those pallets of ammunition into the ship. And when things finally slow down, we deserve a nice sunrise at sea.